Oh goodness, my favorite memory of my father, probably anytime I was watching him play hockey. He's loved hockey ever since he was young. He grew up in Minnesota. He played hockey through college. He still plays on a team now, and getting to see him do things that he loves even, as he's getting older, it's really awesome to see him still enjoy himself.
My favorite memory with my father is when he taught me how to ride my bike when I was 6 years old. He just ripped the training wheels off and was like, go for it. And it worked. I can ride a bike.
My favorite memory of my father was actually, I'd have to say it was at one of my horse shows, and I won 3rd place out of 20, and I just remember seeing his face in the audience, how proud he was of me, because he was always so encouraging of me, for me to go to follow my dreams, and unfortunately he's not with us right now, but he has the best seat in the house.
So when I was a little girl, going to school, someone had to do my hair, and sometimes it was Dad, and he, bless his heart, really tried. And sometimes I had 2 lopsided poofs, and sometimes I had like 5 poofs, or maybe a poof in the front. It was always poofy in some way, or frizzy in some way. So Dad doing my hair is a good one.
And when I was younger, he had this really fast speed bow, and he was so proud of that bow because it went from about 0 to 80, and he loved it. But he decided that we would go water skiing behind it, and I was about 11 years old. And we had the old skis that were they were tied together, and so I said, hit it, and he punched it, and I let go of the rope, and it got stuck between my skis and dragged me under for a little bit. But that's probably one of my favorite memories, just because it makes me laugh.
My favorite memory of my dad. Growing up, I was a golfer, I still am, and he was the best teacher. And just being able to be out on the golf course, I remember we would be in the sand trying to figure out those bunker shots, and just over and over again, he would just show me how to do that. It was a great memory.
My favorite memory of my father, goes back to being at baseball games and basketball games with him. I got to grow up and know a lot of his teams and be with the boys on the basketball team, and growing up with them and being at the gym and just being his little tag along to all the events. It's wonderful.
My father is a very positive person. That's what I love about him, and he taught me to always find positivity in every situation, and there's always a reason to smile at the end of the day.
I really enjoy our father-daughter camping trips that we go on every summer, and we're actually planning one for June when he comes to pick me up from college in Eastern Washington, and we're going to go on a camping trip right after that, so I love those with him.
I'd have to say, him and I, always growing up, we would just start busting out randomly, swing dancing in the kitchen, or just those random things. So I think just spending those little moments with him and just randomly breaking out in dance has always been a good memory of mine that started when I was little and still goes to this day.
We used to go ATVing. I'm going to use that as a verb. We're going to use it as a verb. ATVing in the woods all the time, and I remember this one time we were going up a super steep hill, and I had a kid-size ATV because that's safer than putting a 9-year-old child on a full-size ATV for obvious reasons. And so I was on a small ATV and I was going steep hill, and it just started going backwards, and I remember looking back at my dad and I was like, Dad, I'm not gonna make it! And I rolled perfectly back down the hill, and he was like, okay.
Probably when my dad, he got into fishing a lot, and he still is really involved with fishing, and it's something that we do as a family, and we'd be out there for hours, usually not catching anything, but my very first fish that I caught was a flounder. It was really flat, and it was one of those fish that you don't assume that you're gonna take home and keep, but it was the first fish I caught, and my dad was super proud of me.
My dad is amazing. The best memories I have with him is he actually took me to Europe this last summer, and we both love art, so we were running around every town getting to as many art museums as possible. We were in the square in Prague, and we sprinted from one end to the other just to make it in time to close the museum.
So he really, really likes motorcycles, and he has a motorcycle. And when I was younger, he would take me on it, and we would book it down the hill going, I probably shouldn't say how fast we were going to come to think of it, but those moments where it's just high adrenaline, high rush, those are really fantastic moments for me.
My dad is one of the best singers that I know, and
whenever he would blast the radio and sing along, or maybe a lazy Saturday morning, he would turn on the Beatles or Chicago or something from the 60s, and he'd be dancing and singing and making breakfast, and waking up to that was always nice. There.
Oh my gosh, my dad's my buddy. I'm an only child, and all of growing up, we would go out and play basketball, you know, the things that a dad would love to do with their daughter. But I was a huge girl that loved to play with Barbies. And he would like to come home from work, and we'd line up all my Barbies around our pool table in the bonus room, and he would love to count them. So I think that was a pretty cool memory of him.
Probably one of my favorites was I was modeling and acting in a commercial for the Bon Marché, which is now Macy's. And my dad took me. It was one of the rare times my dad took me to an actual shoot. And we had to do it in the bus station. And so it was at nighttime. At like 2 to 5, and I was like 6 years old. And so he would cuddle me up and take naps with me, and then we would have to go back out to set. And it was actually like a pun on the Ferris Bueller ending with the girl with like all the stuff on her face and big Coke bottle glasses, and that's like my favorite thing that we ever did.
I would have to say when he returned from Afghanistan, he was deployed a lot, so anytime he was returning, that was so exciting, of course for all of us, but those big hugs afterwards, that's my favorite memory.